Everyone, I am so excited because today I get to talk to Andrea Dunlop about her third novel, She Regrets Nothing. And when I tell you this woman regrets nothing, I am not kidding. What a great book. I heard so much good things about this. So many good things. I mean, book reviewers were talking about it all over Instagram. All my friends were like, read this book, read this book. I love the cover. I finally got to read it. She agreed to talk with me. I am so excited. I can't wait to talk to her. So, everyone, here is Andrea. Hi, everyone. I am so excited because I get to talk to author Andrea Dunlop. And I have been trying so hard to connect with you. We've been going back and forth, and I'm so excited that we finally connected because she has a brand new book, came out in February, and she's going to hold it up. She Regrets Nothing. And I love this cover. Wait, hold it a little bit. I can't. It's like layering.
There we go.
There
Yeah,
it is.
right. You know.
Oh my gosh, Andrea, I have seen this cover all over Instagram. All my book reviewers are like, read this book, read this book. And then I finally did, and you said yes, and I was so excited. So,
well, I'm really happy to be here, and that's great to hear that you've been seeing it everywhere. That's always what an author with a new book out wants to hear. So.
Exactly. And I think they're all just loving the cover because it's such
cover. Atria did a great job with the cover. That's definitely helps in this day of so much social media being visual.
Yeah, and especially on Instagram because everything, I think, are you on Instagram?
Oh, yes. Oh, I love Instagram.
Yeah.
That's actually the platform I use the most.
Yeah, and your fans, they make pictures with that book. They put flowers and coffee and wine and,
Yeah, no, it's they have amazing photography skills. A lot of those.
I know, I love it.
It's fun to see. It's really fun to see.
Yeah, and what I love is that this book did not disappoint. Sometimes they're like, read this book, and then you're so like hyped up about it, and then you're like, oh, but this book.
I'm glad to hear that.
Oh my God, I was going back and forth on WhisperSync for everybody out there. I talk about this all the time, but just so, in case nobody's ever heard me. This is the way I read books, okay? Because I have to read a lot of books, and WhisperSync, your book came out in WhisperSync. Not every book does, but yours did. And you get it on Kindle, and then you get it on audio, and then you go back and forth, and they just, like, it knows where you are, no matter where you are. So, like, I can listen to it in the car, go in the grocery store, and on my Kindle, it's already transferred to where I am, and then I can read, when I'm in this ridiculously long line, I can sit there and read the book. And it's how I get along.
Nice. I'll just spread the word about that. My mom is a big audiobook fiend, so I'll have to tell her about that.
Oh, it's awesome. I really love the newer books are coming out more and more. I'm seeing that I don't know if it's the publishers that do that. I have no idea who sets that up, but I am all for it, and I'm always happy when I see it. And I forgot to look up the name of the woman who read it because I wanted to do that and I forgot, but she was so good. I was going back and forth, and then I was like picking her more. I was like, I could read, I could listen. All right, I'll listen, and I love audiobooks, and sometimes I get yelled at for that because people are like, that's not reading, but it's just another way, and she was so much fun to listen to, and it's great when you can get somebody who's going to narrate really well your book,
Agreed.
Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about it. Okay. I've waited so long. So we got, and I want to make sure I'm saying your name right. Laila.
Yes.
Laila.
Yes.
Laila.
Okay. I say it Laila, but that's,
Laila. I know.
I went back to a bit of interpretation. Yeah.
It is, right. Laila Lawrence. She's the main character. Okay. And I love how this book starts. And I'm going to read the first line of this book because I love a good first line. And this kind of takes you right into the setting of the book. And that's why I picked it. And okay, and it's really quick. So she says, "Are you sure we should have come?" Nora whispered to her sister. "I feel like everyone is staring at us." Okay, so you're like, well, where are they? Okay, they're at a funeral. and she's like dressed. You find out that she's like dressed like she's in the Midwest, and she's dressed like she's going to a ball or something. And then it's like, but then that's her character, like kind of like, oh, I feel like everyone's staring at us. They are staring.
Yeah.
At you. Because A, nobody knows who you are. B, you're dressed differently than everybody else here. But so she finds out. So Layla goes to her mother's funeral. You're at your, I mean, just envision that. You're at your mom's funeral and there are these people that you don't know dressed very different than you or anyone there. And you find out that they're your first cousins. Like that's, I love that. How did you come up with that?
Oh boy. In terms of process, which can be a little bit hard to talk about without sounding like, I feel like when I talk about process, I have kind of a choice between either sounding kind of boring and sort of academic about it, or like a total crazy person. I usually get my main character first. That's usually sort of where my inspiration comes from. So Laila sort of came to me fully formed and blazing, and she was a very compelling main character for me to follow through the story. And so, yeah, she came to me first, and then everything else kind of built out around her. So, yes, starting off there, meeting her cousins is obviously a big turning point in her life, and sort of the end of one, very literally in this case, since it's her mother's funeral, but sort of the end of one chapter in her life and the beginning of the next. So that seemed like the right place to start.
Yeah, and I love the cousins. I really do.
Yeah, they're fun. Yeah.
I just do. Like, I see a lot of reviews when they're like, oh, they're so, like people are look at them as like, oh, they're typical, rich people from New York. But yes, they are. But I don't know. They kind of have a sense of humor and things don't always go well for them. But
Leo and Nora are kind of the comic relief in a lot of places.
They are.
Yeah.
I love Leo. I love him. And Nora.
They were a lot of fun to write. Yeah, it's a little bit of a love to hate kind of thing, but that's fine if that's how people feel about the characters, because that's sort of how I felt about them in a lot of instances. So
yeah, I kind of saw them as a little bit of comic relief in parts. You know? Like that's how I saw it. And I have a granddaughter named Nora, so then I found myself very attached to Nora because. I don't know. I don't hear that name very often, but when I saw it, and she has an H at the end of her name, so hers is not a nickname. But I love how you did that. Then she's Leonora, and he's Leo.
And he's
Leo.
Yeah.
No, what? Go ahead, say it.
Sorry?
I'm sorry, you say it. If I got it wrong.
Oh, so their full names are Leonora and Leonardo.
Yeah, Leonardo. I love that.
Which are totally preposterous names to have for twins, but yeah.
Right, but that's so funny. That's why I say they're like, I don't know. There was a lot of comic relief in this book. It was intense at parts, and then but Laila, like, there were some parts where I was really cheering for her, because. She's an orphan and she's an underdog and she moves. So, you have to kind of decide. And I saw at the end of the book, you did have like notes for book clubs. And I love that. I love when you guys do that because it gives me another thing to think about. And you said in the notes, it was like, how naive was she? Because I did buy into the naive. And then as it got a little bit interesting, you're like, how naive is she?
Yeah. Well, I think the fun thing about her as a character and the fun thing about writing her as a character, especially given that she's 25 in the book, when most of the book is happening, is that people really underestimate her. And so I think that sort of playing with that was really fun.
Yes, I love that. And okay, so I saw on your bio, like you lived in New York. You're in the Northwest. Right?
Yes, so I live in just north of Seattle now.
But you did live in New York, so that's how you got that so good, so dead on.
Yeah, I lived there for about 6 years in my 20s.
Yeah, in the publishing world.
Yes.
Which plays a big part in this book.
Yes.
So was that fun to write about?
Yeah, so I worked as an in-house book publicist at Doubleday, which is an imprinted random house. So I worked for there for about 6 years. So that certainly inspired some of the sort of insidery, behind-the-scenes publishing stuff that when we're dealing with Liberty Lawrence, who is one of the main characters and who's a literary agent. So I certainly had a lot of fun sort of writing that behind-the-scenes stuff, and also just, my time in New York. New York is such a character in this book, and I think it's really impossible to write stories that take place in New York where New York doesn't play a huge role. I sort of think that stories that are set in New York kind of couldn't be set anywhere else. And so it was really fun to sort of write it's kind of a love-hate letter to New York. I really had fun living there in my 20s, but I was really happy to leave when I did. And I still go back and visit a lot, but, and so I have a lot of love for the city, but I also got really burned out on it. And there are some huge sort of challenges about living there that I, was not totally prepared for moving there from the West Coast when I was 22. So I think, a lot of that made its way into the book.
Yeah, I am only 2 hours south of New York. So I go there for like events, like plays and dinners and, things like that. So I've never lived there. I've never been, to me, it's more of a place that you take a bus to and you go to a cool play or go to a really nice dinner and, but I always fantasize, like if I'm walking around there, I'm like, oh, I wonder what it would be like to live like this, to live here. But I do think like when you watch TV shows like Friends and How I Met Your Mother that are set in New York City, don't you just kind of crack up to the size of the apartments there compared to...
Yeah, well, I think of those two shows as being set that's soundstage New York City. Like, those shows are not really set in New York City. Those are, they're sort of the, like, sort of occasional nod to New York City things, but they're not really, don't really feel of a place. Where there are other shows, Gossip Girl being one, actually, which the book's gotten compared to a lot, which I love, because I actually really love that show.
Yes.
Sex and the City is another one. Those are shows where, a lot of the scenes are filmed in New York City itself, and they really have a very strong kind of New York flavor and feel very authentically New York. And so, yeah, I think you can really tell the difference between when something's sort of set in New York and then when it's actually set in New York.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny, because I do know some people that live there, and it's like, that is not, like, those young kids in their 20s do not have apartments like that size.
Oh, God, no. Yeah, it's completely preposterous. And then, the apartments on Sex and the City and Gossip Girl are also ridiculous, but they're sort of presented that way. They're presented as no one actually lives like this. So.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I saw. Okay, so this is your third book. It's 3 years in a row you've had books come out, which is crazy.
Yes, although the one that came out last year was actually a novella, so that was quite a smaller undertaking than the novels. So that was a little bit of difference in terms of what it took to write it, what it took to sort of work on the editorial side, and also what it took to launch it, because we did ebook only. So it has been a lot, but it hasn't been quite like doing a book a year.
Everyone, well, Andrea lost connection, so we tried to get it back up. It didn't really work. We were talking about her last books, and we were wrapping up the interview anyway, but I just want to let you know that her links will be listed underneath here. And I just want to thank Andrea and thank you for making this work, because she was having all kinds of technical problems. But anyway, it was so much fun to meet her, and I'm so happy I did. The book is crazy good. I'll have the Amazon link underneath here. She regrets nothing. Thank you so much, Andrea. Bye, everyone.